Hello and welcome to the first Fall Nationals here with Stay Plugged In. I'm CLT Pathfinder, aka CJ Collins. With me, my co-host, Gray Hancock, aka the Huge Box Turtle.
That's right.
It's going to be a great season, man. I'm so excited for what's coming next.
Yeah, we got some great players out here. Excited to bring you guys what we've been working on the past couple weeks leading up to this. And ultimately, I'm just excited to see some really good Rocket League.
Same with me. So let's start at the beginning, right?
Yeah.
What is Fall Nationals? What are we here for? We wanted to be able to give an opportunity for kids to be able to compete in college. We saw that there was a ton of opportunity for kids to be able to compete in the Rocket League Collegiate Series, and that there weren't a huge pipeline for people to be able to get into that college space. So what did we start out doing?
Yeah, so basically we put together a 3-season series of tournaments, basically running a month long, and invited high schoolers across the nation to come out and compete. In this program, we're going to be collecting all of their information, working on putting together a lot of what, how their competition goes throughout the course of the next month leading up to each individual bracket. And as you can see, we're basically doing a September season, an October season, and then a November season, culminating in eventually a one big grand final championship bracket. And I mean, again, like I said, we're going to see a lot of really, really good talent here, but as this program grows over the next 3 months, we'll see even more and more talent come in from across the country, and I'm excited to showcase a lot of what we built.
Absolutely, and the format is very much a Swiss format. So there's two divisions. There's a red division and a blue division, and within those, each team plays each other once, Swiss format traditionally, and then from there, what happens is we go to a double elimination bracket. So you're looking at the red division, which has our Pokemon theme teams. We're bringing out the OG stops. We love the Pokemon theme teams. We thought it went really well with our audience, so we chose to go with that. So you're looking at the Gyarados, the Hitmonchamp, the Machamp, the Marowak, the Ninetales, the Pidgeot, the Pikachu, the Tauros, and the Hitmonlee.
Absolutely, and that takes us over to our red division, our blue division. Red and blue, for those of you listening, yes, that is correct. But our blue division is going to be made up of some different teams, obviously different Pokemon name themes for that as well. So as you can see there, we have all the way down to Gengar, Gyarados, some of my favorites, and the last one as well, but Blastoise, Charizard, on down the line. We're hitting all the stops and hitting all the marks with this. But ultimately, each of these teams are going to be competing, as CJ said, in that Swiss format. And then at the end of the month, we're going to be bringing you a big finalized bracket based off of how everyone placed throughout that Swiss format. We'll obviously team up divisions against each other. But ultimately, I mean, I'm excited for this. I don't know about you.
And we have 100+ colleges that are signed on, and they want to be able to give these kids different opportunities, these scholarship opportunities that exist out there. And this is the first step, right? We're going to be able to get some stats from these players over these next 3 seasons. We're going to get to see a lot of these players. We're going to see how they deal with crunch time situations. We're going to be able to collect all those stats, and then we're going to be able to give it to the colleges, and they're going to have an opportunity to be like, wow, I really like this kid. I like the way they performed inside the game, right? Well, we also do some stuff outside the game, right, Gray?
For sure, yeah. A lot of what we've been building on is encouraging kids to, develop their own platforms, whether that be Twitch or YouTube, collecting their montages, getting their clips, putting that information together. Honestly, what a lot of colleges are looking for is well-rounded talent, right? Kids that hit a lot of check marks along that box. So they're looking for good competitors, but not only that, they're looking for good kids all around. And that's what we're working to provide is, again, like CJ said, access to that pipeline, ensuring that more and more kids reach that opportunity to hit that next level that they're looking for.
That's right, yeah. And these are all high school kids, so everywhere from freshmen to seniors. We have 2021 through 2024. So everything in between there. And right now it's a mixed match, right? So these teams, some of them are seniors, some of them are juniors, some of them are freshmen, or some of them are all seniors. So they all kind of have different feels for each roster, but I think we're going to get into those rosters and the matchups for this evening. First up is going to be, go ahead, Gray. Give it to us.
Yeah, tonight's going to be our red division first. So first up match is going to be the Tauros versus Machamp. And right after that, we will see Golem versus Alakazam. That is going to be the first matchup in our red division. In our blue division, you will see a little bit different. That is going to be Ninetales versus Pidgeot. And then to end the night, we will end the night with Gengar versus Charizard. And we'll actually give you a little bit of a breakdown of what those rosters look like and who you can expect to see on each of those teams.
That's right. Yeah, so those are the 4 matchups for tonight. We're doing a best of 3 for each of these league matches. So within our Swiss format, you play every team in your division, the red and the blue, once, and then from there we go to double elimination bracket. But these first matches are all best of 3. So let's get into that first roster. That's right, folks. Tauros! You guessed it. It's Tauros. On the Tauros squad, we have Cosmic Flippy, McFlurry, and Vratical, all seniors this year, all extremely talented players. We've seen these guys once before, haven't we, Gray?
We have, yes. These 3 kids are local to Charlotte. They're in the South Charlotte area. We have seen them compete in some events that we've run in the past. A few events, actually, if I'm not mistaken. But ultimately talented, these kids. I believe their average MMR is right around 1,800 and 1,900. So immensely talented team. They're all GCs. They're going to bring some heat.
Yes, they are. We love the squad. And playing against them, the Machamp squad. Let's introduce them real quick. Pokemon! It's Machamp! Yes, I know. It said Machamp because there was no Machamp, who's that Pokemon. But you know who that Pokemon is Machamp. He's got 4 arms. He's ready to attack on this squad. Crystal Bohemian, Scientist, and Senpai. Kind of a mishmash here. A little bit of a different group. We do have a veteran among them who was a transfer student who's looking for a spot to play within some Lucky Ducky college. But we're excited for this roster as well. I think that it's nice to see a bunch of free agents come together and be able to form a squad that can compete. And honestly, I've talked to each one of these kids. They're awesome folks. Like, they are just good people behind the screen, if you would.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, like as CJ said, a lot of what colleges are looking for is that well-rounded talent, right? They want good competitors, but they also want kids that are just good all around. But that takes us into our first matchup of the day, which is going to be Tauros versus Machamp. CJ, who do you have taking this first one?
I'm going to have to go with the Tauros squad. We know the seniors. We know this group. We know they're very, very good. I just think that, you know, it's really hard for those free agent rosters to come together last minute. But I've been surprised before. For me, it's Tauros squad, though.
Yeah, I think I'm going to follow suit with you there. That Tauros squad is pretty intense, as we've seen before. CJ and I have seen these kids compete in the past, and they do bring the heat. They have great team cohesion. I believe they're all pretty local to each other, and they play together pretty often. But all around, I'm excited to see some good competition. We should be getting this first match loaded up here any second now. But ultimately, I mean, I don't want to say it's going to be a sweep, but I think this Tauros squad is going to be not only a team to beat this match, but also a team to beat throughout the rest of this division.
Yeah, I think that they're going to be really, really good. But I'm excited for the matchup. You know, I think that Rocket League, as we are going to see it over the next couple weeks, is going to change for these guys. They're going to develop that team chemistry. And sometimes you just got to get in the game and be able to play and give it your all, especially in a quick session like this. And there's opportunities, right? Because nobody's out, right? Even through all this play, you might get a bad seed, but like at the end of the day, as long as you're ready to go in 4 weeks when that bracket play shows up, you can knock it out.
Absolutely. And I believe we're just waiting on a few more students to join this here. But ultimately, like CJ said, a lot of what we're looking for here is, you know, we want to be able to collect as much information from these matches as possible. So after each of these matches, we'll be collecting every single performance for every single individual player, compiling that into our own custom MMR ranking and skill rating, basically, to compare themselves to each other. And that's going to be built upon throughout over the course of the next month leading up to that final bracket. So there's going to be obviously extra commendations that come from a championship, but ultimately we are going to be tracking that individual performance. So even if a player does not win, we will still be able to see who exactly is the top performers in each division. Yeah,
and honestly, these kids are coming together, and they're going to be able to compete in maybe an environment they haven't before, right? Maybe none of them have played in a tournament before. Maybe this is their first experience doing that. And I think that for our freshmen especially, like our 22s, 23s, 24 class, like those guys are going to get a great opportunity to see some competition that they have never seen before in a nice format, right? We built out this format for them to be able to compete in something like that. And what do you see online right now? You see a lot of like one-off tournaments or little things that they can kind of play in single elimination. Not a lot of time to be able to develop.
For sure.
This is a totally different format and really changes the game for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, when you get to the collegiate space, especially in CRL, it is a hyper competitive environment, right? You're going to see a lot of casual play here in the lower tier things in the amateur tournaments and the free to play online tournaments, but a lot of what you're going to see in CRL is a hyper competitive environment. And a lot of what coaches want to see is kids that have been there before.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what we're offering. We're offering a chance for kids to show up, compete, and I believe we're actually going to be putting together a player card for them as well. CJ, if you want to break down a little bit of that.
Yeah, so the player card is definitely something that we want to integrate and be able to give all of the stats. And not just inside the game, right? Stats, I'm talking about an entire portfolio. What are their extracurricular activities? Do they play any sports? Is there anything going on outside the game? Along with GPA. Oh my gosh, colleges look at GPA. That's actually one of the first things when our podcast that normally comes up is we talk a lot about GPA.
Yep.
What does that GPA look like for that student? Are they going to fail out? Because sometimes kids in esports have struggle with that, right? And so one of the things that we do is help them with that piece, right? Can you get your GPA up so that you can apply for that school that you want to go to that has this program? Along with other games, right? Gamers are notoriously known for being good at several games, right? If you take a pro player in one game, they're normally good at a couple of different games, and it's true across the board, right? So we want to be able to show that because that's not always highlighted during tryouts for different recruiting sessions that colleges do currently.
Yep, and that takes us back to that, again, that well-rounded thing, right? We want to be able to showcase not only the competitiveness, but with that player card, show how well-rounded a student actually is.
Yeah.
And that leads into that, that GPA that you were talking about, SAT, ACT scores, what colleges, what careers they're interested in actually pursuing. All of that is valuable information for colleges, and that's the information that we want to be able to showcase, right? Anybody can come out and compete, but do they have a bad attitude? Are they willing to put in the time it takes to actually win? More importantly, do they know what it looks like to have that healthy balance between competition and gaming and not? ultimately 1 goal, so, no assists or goals for everybody else, but ultimately you're seeing pretty level play across the board for this Machamp side. There's still plenty of opportunities for them to improve as a team, improve as individuals over the course of the next month, and, I mean, this Tauros squad is serious. I have a strong feeling that we're going to see them move pretty far whenever we do get to that bracket and throughout this Swiss game mode. So, I mean, the fact that they were able to put that goal in after making some adjustments in the break between games means a lot, that they do have some growth to be had, but that they can actually achieve that growth.
That's right. Yeah, they're definitely going to be one of our front runners for this whole thing. So, a tough matchup for the first one, but they go up 2-0 on their first matchup. And then next, we have the Golem and the Alakazam squad coming up.
Absolutely.
So it's going to be a good matchup. But I think we're going to go to a quick break before we get into that match, get everything set up. So we'll see you on the next side, the next match coming up, Alakazam versus Golem. Welcome back. We just saw Team Tauros take on the Machamp, and we have a VIP for you from that match.
An MVP.
An MVP. Sorry, VIP.
Our MVP for that game is Jay, a.k.a. Radical. Excellent performance there, capitalizing on so many goals and passes there from McFlurry and from Cosmic Flippy on his team. Ultimately, I think we could have picked anybody from that squad, but Radical, I think, stood out just a little bit more than Cosmic and McFlurry.
He's the MVP and the VIP in our hearts.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Awesome. Cool. So Radical, great game by him. Great game by that squad. We will see them again, I'm sure, very, very soon. But we are moving into our next match, which is going to be Golem versus Alakazam. This one is going to be a close one, I think, maybe.
Yeah, it is. This one's going to be, I think, a little bit more tight than the last game that we saw, just based off ranks alone. But we have seen a few of these squads in some of our tournaments before. But let's take a look at the first squad up available, which is the Golem side.
The Golem side. Sorry, we're having a little bit of technical difficulties, but the Golem side is going to consist of our rosters: Johnson, Kaz, and 0-2. They are all in our 2022 class right now. I'm sorry, that's Cap. We had 1 sub, so the center one is going to be Cap for that team, but I've never seen any of these guys play. Have you seen them before?
I have not. I've seen a few montages and clips from some of 0-2's performances.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
I think this is going to be a player to watch throughout the course of this tournament for this first month. But ultimately, these are some new faces for us. We've not seen any of these kids compete before. Just based off their ranks alone, they are going to be a pretty heavy-duty squad. They're going to have some intense plays. They are very, very talented players. I believe 0-2 is closing in on that 2K rank, if not above it, if I'm not mistaken. But ultimately, this is going to be a pretty loaded squad for this September series, and I think they're going to make a pretty solid run at the championship.
Totally agree. Moving on to the next squad, the Alakazam. What is it? This is also the Mellow Mighty, the new ERA, and Rebel himself.
Absolutely, and we have seen Era before. He competed in the last high school league that we ran. Also very, very local to Charlotte, just down the street. But he is going to be another one that's going to be immensely talented. He's going to bring a lot of force. We saw him in the championship of the last league that we ran. And similar to 0-2, I think he's going to be, again, another player to watch in this series, just like that entire Tauros squad. I believe that Tauros squad has actually played Era before. So he's familiar with this game, with their gameplay.
Oh, the Myers Park squad. There's so many Charlotte schools around here. Well, Charlotte's awesome. There's just gamers that come out of Charlotte. I'll tell you what.
It's true, absolutely. But we are getting this next lobby here loaded up. CJ, who do you think is going to take this match?
Oh, my goodness. I am going to have to go with the Golem squad. the Golem squad. I think that on paper, that 0 is going to be nasty. And I think we've seen some cool clips from him, so I'm going to take him as my MVP and them winning the match. We'll see what happens.
Okay, I'll take the other side here. I'll go with Alakazam. I think they are more evenly distributed in their rank. I've seen Arrow play. I know he's got the talent to make some waves and do some interesting things. But I think that they are going to be a more well-balanced team from everything that we've seen so far. I do think 0-2 is going to be a challenge. Don't get me wrong. I think 0-2 is going to put up a heck of a fight. But I think this Alakazam side is going to take it.
I'm just so excited for this season, man. Yep. I think that after that first match, I've been waiting for like weeks. We've been working on this program for so long, and we want to give these kids opportunities to be able to be seen. And I think that it's been really, really awesome to see this program come together for these kids to be able to start competing. And we're at the second match, dude, and it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, absolutely. We have everybody in the lobby now. We are getting everything rolling. We are going to take you live right now to this second match as everybody loads in, and ultimately we should see a pretty good should see a pretty good matchup here.
Yeah, and we saw Era. He was in the Charlotte High School
Yep.
Esports League. So Era is a well-known face from the Myers Park squad, and he did really, really well in that series. I think they got second place.
They did, yes.
Yeah. So
No, Myers Park, I believe, won.
Oh, did they win?
They did.
Oh, man,
Yeah,
goodness.
they beat Fort Mill.
Goodness. It feels like it was so long ago.
Yeah, so Era is actually a reigning champion for one of our previous leagues.
There you
So
go. What's up? Defending the title on
Yeah.
the Alakazam squad.
if that lends himself some even more credibility. But ultimately, he is going to see a little bit increased level of competition from what he saw in that last event that we ran. This is going to be, there's way more GCs in this than there was before,
right.
which is awesome. I love to see that. I love the competitiveness, but ultimately, each of these players are going to be faced with a pretty hefty challenge on their hands to be able to compete at that highest level. But we are loading into this game. We're getting all the players ready for this game number 2. Do you think Golem has a chance? I know you picked him at the start. You sticking with it?
I do. I think that they had a lot of shots in the goal, and I think they just needed to get one to go through, and there was a lot of opportunities there where the ball was kind of hanging out in the center, and you just got to get one extra person to rotate through and punch it in. So I think that's definitely going to happen. While we have a little bit of time, I think one of the things we can talk about is the seasons, right? Our seasons are broken up into a Swiss format and then a double elimination bracket. That next double elimination bracket, or season 1 finals, if you would, is on October 1st, and we're playing it through that weekend, right? So if somebody wanted to play in this league, where would they go in order to sign up to be able to join this team?
StayPluggedIn.com.
StayPluggedIn.com.
Absolutely.
So if you are watching this and you're out there and you're a high school student, you want to be able to compete, we pair you with teams, or you can join as a team. The only requirement is that you want to go to college. And that's pretty much it. If you want to be able to go to college and be involved in the esports team, that's how we do it.
3 here. Looking to see another great one, but ultimately this is going to be the deciding game for one of these teams.
That is right. It is. Golem. Woo. Well, Rebel had a rough game last game, but he comes out swinging in this one with a great pass from good old Mellow Mighty.
Yeah, absolutely. Great pass there, just hitting that off the right side of the post, just out of the reach of Cap on the defensive, and Pure's able to sink that net in, or sink that ball into the net, and that puts them up early with, 13 seconds into the game. That's exactly the start that you want from this Alakazam side.
Alakazam side. Let's go. I need my Zero to come on back to it. Let's go, Zero. I believe in you.
Air's looking to get the wall touch here back over to his teammate, but Johnson is there to push that ball away as Cap gets the demo on Era. But that ball is still on the blue side of the net. Cap again with some great defensive pressure off of the backboard as this ball keeps flying onto the blue side of the field from this Alakazam side, not letting up after that one goal, continuously applying that offensive pressure.
Yeah, we're seeing Alakazam with a lot of offensive pressure this game. They come out with an early first goal. Golem tries to get a pass. Good old Cappy Cap trying to get a pass, but doesn't happen. Tries to get a 50-50, and the ball is now on the orange side, and our Alakazam friends are trying to play some defense. Zero our hero. Zero hero.
You know, this game 3 is a lot more resemblance of that first game, right? We're seeing a lot of back and forth, a lot more offensive pressure on both sides. For the past 30, 40 seconds or so, it was that Alakazam side putting a lot of that pressure onto the blue side of the field. But here we are seeing the Golem side is continuously applying some pressure of their own back onto the orange side. As 0-2 looks to push that up, but Mellow Mighty able to barely push that ball out of that upper 90.
Yeah, we're seeing the defensive plays come out from both sides. If Golem wants a chance, they need to put one in the net, and Zero has been doing his best. He's put 2 shots on goal, and he's trying to push it in there.
Absolutely. Woo. Off the backboard there, Cap is going to be able to finish that off, but Mellow Mighty again. Mellow Mighty is the star defender of this series, continuously saving for his team, keeping that ball out of the net as Cap is going to look to get a save of his own as Mellow Mighty puts a shot on. 0-2 is going to finish that off to make it a 1-1 game with just under 3 minutes remaining in this game 3.
1-1, 3 minutes on the clock, game 3 for our second match of the evening.
Second match, yep.
Comes the kickoff.
I would love to see an overtime here.
Oh my. Don't we always want to see overtime?
Oh, overtimes are the best. Johnson's able to launch that back over to the Alakazam side of the ball as all 3 members of the orange team look to rotate back. Mellow Mighty going to look to get that second touch off. Can he get it? Cap is able to push that off to the side. Mellow Mighty is everywhere on the field right now, saving, shooting, trying to make some plays for his team. He's doing everything he possibly can to make some waves here. But ultimately, it is still a 1-1 game, and it is any team's game as 0-2 looks to finish that off. Oh, man, Pure able to barely sink that save away.
And there's Mellow Mighty once again coming in with the defensive plays. 0-2, chips the ball up to Johnson, who centers it. Cap tries to beat the defender there, isn't able to.
Ooh, little passing play there from Pure and Mellow. As Mellow is able to sink that into the left side of the net, and that is going to be a 2-1 lead for the Alakazam side off of the passing play and ultimately the finish from Mellow Mighty.
That was a great touch by Mellow Mighty.
Yeah, excellent angle on that. I think he mishit his initial shot and made a super quick adjustment off the fly to sink that into the open net.
We're seeing Johnson going to clear the ball to the center. Gets a right place, right time. Works out for you sometimes.
Man. Positioning is key there as Johnson looks like he lands and ultimately just stays parked and says, hey, I'm going to tap this bad boy in. Johnson, and it works out for him.
Went for that bump and just ended up in the right spot because of that bump. So worked out for him. It's 2-2. We got 2 minutes left on the clock in game 2. Match 2, I mean, there's 2s everywhere.
Game 3 of match 2 of the night here. It is tied up. This is a super close game. We are inching our way ever closer to an overtime here as both of these teams are doing everything they can to start out this season with a win, but ultimately only one of them can.
Mellow Mighty. Whew. I like that name, Mellow Mighty.
Looking to sink that in. Mellow Mighty from the pass from Pure is able to sink that in. This Mellow Mighty Pure connection is kind of real right now.
It is. Him and Rebel are making the moves.
Excellent shot there into the lower left, away from the defense. Even with 2 defenders in the blue net, is still able to sink that into the lower left 90. And Alakazam has their 3rd lead of the game so far.
0-2. Oh, man. You hate to see that one trickle in, but it does.
I don't know about you, but I love to see this. Excellent pass off the backboard as Johnson goes up to finish that and is able to dunk that into the net. And I think every goal by this Alakazam side has been answered within 15 seconds from the Golem side. And this is ultimately leading to a super close game.
It is definitely that. You can tell everybody wants to win this one bad. They want to start the season off right. Who is going to go 1-0? I don't know. What a show.
Absolutely. We are closing in on the last 60 seconds here of Game 3 before a potential overtime as 0-2 is able to sink it in, and Golem gets their first lead of this Game 3, taking it up to 4-3 over the Alakazam side off the pass from Johnson. Excellent 50 leading to the goal there from 0-2.
0-2. My MVP is making it the 0 show.
I don't think it works. But
no. Okay.
We'll work on it together.
Dang it.
Mellowmighty looking for that second touch. He's able to get it pure, able to push that ball in. Mellowmighty, little low on boost, is still going to try and contest that, but not the greatest hit into the corner. He's going to be looking to center that ball. Doesn't quite get the touch he's looking for.
Cap. Ooh, Rebel with a good touch.
Excellent save there from Pure. That's going to go off the backboard. Mellowmighty looking to put that in as Pure looks for that touch, not able to quite connect on the passing play as Era's looking to make a play for himself, but is without boost as 0-2 comes in to push that shot on, but Era able to keep that off to the left.
Mellowmighty goes for the contest, almost gets it.
Closing in on the last 20 seconds.
My. Ooh, the Golem squad slowly creeping away in the last 30 seconds of the match. Go up 5-3 in a demo. Love the demo goals.
Absolutely. 2 goals remaining with just over 20 seconds left. Alakazam needs to make a couple quick goals here to keep themselves alive. They need 2 to hunt for that overtime. Ideally, they need 3, but with only 20 seconds remaining, you take what you can get. And there's one as Mellowmighty comes in off of the miss hit there from the Golem side and is able to sink that into the bottom right.
Johnson tries to get a pinch off the wall and just does not cooperate with them, and Mello ready to attack and pounces on the ball.
Yeah, instead of pinching that ball off to the right into the corner, ultimately he mishits it and just kills the ball energy of that ball as Johnson looks to make a redemption for it and merely misses.
Woo. Oh. Ooh.
As Cap is going to sink that to continue that 2-0 lead, 2-goal lead. I believe that might be the end of this game. This is Rocket League, so there is still plenty of time for Alakazam to come back, but the challenge is insurmountable, or seemingly so.
This momentum in this game has just been back and forth and back and forth. You can tell these squads they came out to battle, and if you look at them on paper, you wouldn't actually think that.
Yeah. No, the Alakazam side actually on paper is the higher ranked team.
Yeah. But sometimes about that momentum. It's about the good things that happen in the middle of your match, right? So we see Golem comes out. They're going to take Game 3 and go 1-0 in their division.
Absolutely. And again, that game, Alakazam had 8 shots of their own, but that Golem side consistently putting more and more shots on every single game of this best of 3, ending up with 10 shots on target for that last game. And again, like I said earlier, that offensive pressure, right? Being able to sink 6 of those 10 shots to make it a 6-goal to 4-goal victory there. Pretty commanding victory in that Game 3. The rest of the series, not so much. It did go to a Game 3. Very evenly matched games, but well played all around from both teams, and excellent victory there from Golem in Game 3.
Yeah, totally. I mean, mighty Mellow Mighty, the double M, the M&M, some would say, is definitely had some great plays in that whole game. We saw him quite a bit. And Alakazam, they're going to fall 0-1.
Yep.
But there's lots of Rocket League left to play, brother.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. So many games left.
Absolutely. And Mellowmighty and Era both are GCs. This is a chance for them to make a little bit of waves for themselves and come back even stronger in this next series. But ultimately, we are going to take a short break, set up for the next match that we have slated up for you guys. We'll be right back in just a few minutes, and we'll see you in a second.
Welcome back to the Fall Nationals. We're done with Game 2. We're going on to Game 3. But first, who was our MVP of the match? We know it was 0-2.
It was indeed 0-2. 0-2 was the MVP of that last match. Absolutely killed it on both ends of the ball. Similar, I think we know who the MVP was going to be on both sides of the ball. I think Cap obviously did a great job of that Golem side as well, alongside 0-2. But 0-2 leading his team in goals and saves across all 3 of those matches, and ultimately leads himself to an MVP for that match.
That is right. 0-2 was the MVP for that match. On to match number 3. We have Ninetales versus Pidgeot for our next match up. We are in for a close one here as well, I think, Mr. Box Turtle.
On paper, so we have not seen any of these teams before. We have seen a few of the players in the last couple matches before throughout a couple various events and things that we've done in the past. But these 6 players are all brand new to us. We've never seen any of them play. And on paper, this is going to be the most tightly contested match of the night. But nonetheless, let's take a look at that Ninetales roster first and see exactly what they're working with here.
Pokemon! It's Ninetales!
Ninetales and the squad comes out. Dozen, Baguette, and Feline all. Oh no, Dozens on class 2021. He is a senior. His junior buddies are with him.
Absolutely. And again, all these players sit right at that C3 rank. I think some of them are on the verge of GC if they haven't been in the past. But nonetheless, this is a very, very evenly matched squad. They should be playing well together. I know they've been practicing over the last couple days to be able to get ready for this. But nonetheless, that is our Ninetales roster. And next up, we have the roster of our Pidgeot side.
Pokemon! It's Pidgeot!
That's right, it is Pidgeot. And here we are looking at Peneth, Magnolia, and War is going to be the Pidgeot side. Now we are seeing, again, another senior in this, but we are seeing a couple sophomores for this side as well.
Yes, we are. This is going to be a close matchup. And I think these are our first 2 sophomores, right? That are, I mean, at least on a... I don't think we've seen a freshman. Is Cosmic Flippy? He might be.
No, those guys are seniors.
Those guys are all seniors. Okay, cool. So, yeah, we have a close matchup here. We're going to have the Pidgeot side versus the Ninetales side. We are going to get into this match very, very shortly.
Who are you taking in this one?
Oh, yes. The predictions.
Yes.
Who are we going to pick? For me, I'm going to go with the Pidgeot side. I'm going to go with the young guns.
Okay.
The young sophomore boys.
Why?
You know, I have no idea. But if I look at them on paper, I just like their names. I'm going to go with I like their names. That's
Fair
the
enough.
biggest
That's
reason
a good
why.
one. The colors of their cars. I'm going to go the opposite way. I'm going to get a little bit more logical. On paper, this Ninetales side is just has a little bit the slightest edge on this Pidgeot side. I think they are just ever so slightly higher rank across the board. There are a couple C3s on that Pidgeot side as well, but ultimately Ninetales, I think, just has the slightest bit of an advantage. But that being said, we know the last game is close. It went to a best of 3. I think this one is probably going to be just a little bit tighter as a matchup. I say that, I could be entirely wrong, but nonetheless, that's what I think. But we are loading into this next match here. We are getting this all set up for you as everybody joins the lobby, and we are bringing you game number 1 of the 3rd match that we have for you tonight.
That's right. Love to see it in the chat. The good lucks, have funs come out from the squads. Here we go. Kickoff happens. Zen comes out on top. Kind of feeling each other out. See it? Ooh.
We're seeing some early pressure and contest there as Baguette looks to push that on, but gets 50'd as War, puts that back over to the blue side. That is going to come straight down. Not an ideal position, a little bit dangerous as everybody runs out of boost, but Dozen is able to push that back outside of the net as Magnolia looks to push that up for his team, and War is able to finish that off the pass from Magnolia into that bottom left 90.
What a pass to the center.
Excellent
Magnolia
bump there
and
from
a bump.
Magnolia.
Yeah, right? The pass comes in, the bump comes in, War finishes off. Pidgeot going up 1-0.
Absolutely.
That's my
Psionics,
squad.
if you're
That's my
listening,
squad.
I think that a bump like that deserves to be accredited with an assist. But nonetheless, excellent bump there from Magnolia. War is able to finish that off as we see this Ninetales side, or excuse me, the Pidgeot side is again putting more and more pressure onto the Ninetales side of the ball.
That's right. They are. Zen coming out. He's got 37 boost. He's got a little bit of control. Goes for the wall touch bounce.
A little bit of a ceiling touch.
A little bit of a ceiling touch.
Ceiling touch, yeah.
There
Ceiling
you go.
touch is what
That
he was
one.
going for
Yep,
there.
Yep.
But we see some double commit there on the defense as Zen is able to rally around and put his team back as Dozen looks to 50 that. And again, we're seeing some tight pressure here from this Ninetales squad, trying to get a goal back for themselves as Zen is going to push this up, look for the double touch off the backboard, but Baguette able to push that back out away from on top of the net.
That's right. Dozen tries to follow up the ball. Baguette with an opportunity, but no, it ends up being Feline. He booms it out. Almost puts it in the goal. Bounces it off the back wall. And the shot comes in from Baguette. Just almost makes it very, very close. 3 on the Pidgeot side. Missed the ball. And we are now playing the back and forth game. A lot of good clears out of both of these teams.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, you know, this is that first goal did come out early, and it was an excellent play. But so far, we've seen very few, solid chances from both sides here, following that goal as we close in on the 2-minute mark past of this game number 1. And I think this is going to stay a pretty contested game throughout the remainder of this best of 3.
It is Dozen with a touch towards the Ninetales side. 4. Pinches the ball. Zen pushes the ball out of his half. Oh, wins a good 50 right there. Feline.
Feline looking to put that shot on. He's going to follow that up, but War is able to take the 50 away and push that back into the midfield as Ninetales looks to make some more pressure for themselves here, pushing that back into the Pidgeot corner. War is able to get the mistouches. Baguette looks to finish that. It's sitting on the line. Can they get it in?
Oh my
and
goodness.
Zen
Oh
stays
my
with
goodness.
it. Oh my gosh.
What a defensive play by the Pidgeot side. Zen, War, going big for the squad.
Every member of that Pidgeot side without boost for that defensive play. Magnolia still without boost, looking to make it a challenge as Zen puts a shot on, but Dozen is able to redirect that back out to the corner. And this is turning into a little bit of a barn burner here. This is turning into a pretty tight game with a lot of chances. Baguette backflipping into the net, but Zen is able to push that back out, and another save comes out for the Pidgeot side.
I'm sweating for this Pidgeot side. They are just playing some defense right here. They need to put those goalie gloves on and just let it rip.
Wow, you are literally sweating.
Somebody call the ambulance. I think I'm having a heart attack.
Magnolia looking able to get the touch. A double commit there as
Ooh.
Feline comes in to finish that out. So right there, we saw a little bit of a double commit there from the Pidgeot side on that defense, leaves them exposed, and Feline finishes that in to tie this game up with just over a minute and a half remaining.
That is right. We're going to see the kickoff. The next goal, I think, wins the game. I think if you score here, you get the momentum and you carry it through. War. It's just that playing some offense, got a little bit of boost to work with, but misses a little bit. See if Zen is able to make an opportunity here. Got a little bit of boost. He's going to pinch it off the wall. Does get a little bit of a touch, but it is returned out by the Ninetales squad.
We are inching our way ever closer to a overtime here. That would be our first overtime of the night as we're closing in on the final 60 seconds. I promise that if there is an overtime and that goal that follows, I will scream, "This is Rocket League." But for now, we need one of these teams to follow through, score a goal, and keep themselves alive and not lead this to the overtime. It's a little bit too stressful from the competitive side.
Agreed. And you got to feel for some of the players when they're playing defense like this and either doesn't go in or does go in and you need that opportunity. Those nerves, they start happening quick, especially if you've never been in a format like this, an opportunity like this. So you got to feel for some of these guys.
Yeah, absolutely. We're closing in on our last 30 seconds here. War is able to get the push, but Feline is able to 50
Dozen.
that back over to the side. Is Dozen going to finish that off? He does, taking a 2-1 lead. Just over 20 seconds remaining as Ninetales takes their first lead of this series.
Yeah, just a great touch from the center, being able to push that ball to the Pidgeot side, and Dozen knocks it in the goal. Says, "Not in my house. You're going to have to score with 22 seconds left." And they might have a chance here. Magnolia got no boost. Oh, but loses a 50. And no boost hurt him bad. Baguette Grabs the boost. Zen is going to have a clear to the other side. Let's see if he's able to capitalize. Not going to be able to...
Magnolia looking to get the shot on, hits that off the backboard. Is his team there to follow it? He's there, but that is going to hit the ground, and Ninetales takes game 1 of this best-of-3 series led by Dozen.
Yeah, Ninetales scores with about 22 seconds left on the clock, really put them ahead, and they had all the momentum going into it. A great effort by Pidgeot, but you see just not as many shots, not even close to as many shots.
Yeah, totally. I mean, we did see 11 shots from that Ninetales side, but give the Pidgeot side some credit. We did see eight saves coming out from them on the defensive side, split pretty evenly amongst everybody on that team. So we did see that the entire Pidgeot side was rotating back on defense, was applying as much of the defensive pressure as they could, but ultimately those 11 shots cost them, and Ninetales takes a 2-1 lead.
Yeah, so what does Pidgeot need to do in order to take this next game right here?
Yeah, you know, there wasn't a whole lot that they did there wrong, right? I think the first goal that Ninetales had was off the mistake from a double commit by the Pidgeot side, and I believe that, you know, so much of what we're looking at here is going to be coming down to those final minute mistakes, right? When you get up to this level and you have teams that are competing at this level, it's not going to be about how many things you do right. It's going to be about minimizing how many things you do wrong. Yeah. And I think if Pidgeot just makes a few corrections and makes a few adjustments on the exact gameplay that they're having and on their rotations and their double commits, they'll be all right.
Yeah, so we will see as we pull up game number 2. We're getting all the players here in the lobby so that we can watch some carball soccer.
Carball soccer.
Carball soccer.
Is that what they call it?
They do. I've heard them call it that once or twice.
But nonetheless, this is going to be, again, another tightly contested match. That one did go down to the last 45 seconds before that goal was scored. 30 seconds before that goal was scored. But again, you know, we saw a lot of saves come out from both sides, a lot of shots come out from both sides. And I think just like that last match, we're going to see a pretty evenly split match. Yeah. I don't think there's going to be a whole lot that differentiates between these two sides. I think either side can take it. But like I said, it's going to be about minimizing those mistakes, and the team with the fewest mistakes is going to win.
Yes, totally agree. Team with the fewest mistakes. Man, what an evening full of Rocket League craziness. Here we go.
But we are here in Game 3, taking it to you right now as we kick off for game number 2 of this best-of-3.
The line comes in. He's going to have an opportunity to score. Gets that one off the wall real quick, but they end up on the defensive really quick. Has a lot of boost, 74 left in the tank. Trying to get an opportunity.
And we're seeing some stack here from that Pidgeot side. All 3 members sitting on that right-hand side of that corner of the field of the Ninetales side. That's exactly what I'm talking about. You don't need to bunch up quite so much. It did not cost them too much on a mistake, but we do need to see a little bit more of a middle rotation from this Pidgeot side if they want to keep that and maintain that pressure.
Definitely agree. As we look at game 2, a little bit of back and forth, similar to the way game 1 started. So I have a feeling this one's going to go close to what happened last time. It's going to be a low-scoring game.
Absolutely, and you know, you and I have spent some time teaching kids Rocket League that have never played any Rocket League, and one of the things that we harp on so much is the ability to have those even rotations across the board, right? Yeah. You know, you don't want to rotate to the same side, you don't want to push to the same side, you don't want to be bunched up, you don't want to double commit. So much of that revolves around rotating around behind your teammates to be able to either maintain offensive pressure, maintain some defensive cohesion. As we see Magnolia putting the shot on, and Dozen is able to push that back out to the side. Zen able to take that up. Magnolia there again, but Feline is there to 50 that back over to the Pidgeot side as they're looking to make a little bit of a run for their own.
Yeah, Zen's going to have a little clear here. Is that a boost? He's going to be looking for some boost. Gonna come back to it. Dozen's air dribbling. And has some good touches, but isn't able to capitalize on it.
Magnolia puts that on, but Dozen is there to rotate back in time. We're seeing Magnolia put some shots on here. Magnolia looking to push this back out as they launch that back up to the corner, looking to get that second touch on for his teammate, but just barely able to get that 50 off from Feline.
Yeah, the car control really on both of these squads is pretty good. They are doing a great job making sure that they can transition to offense and defense, and that's why you see this 0-0 coming out with 2 minutes into the game. And that might be a score. Woo. Oh. Feline gets the boost. He's going to follow up his teammate Dozen. Dozen goes over one. And Zen is not able to get there and play defense.
I'm not quite sure if Zen had ran out of boost there on the rotation. I didn't quite see that. Looks like Zen grabbed the boost, maybe just didn't quite turn around in time. Going for that boost did cost Zen on that defensive side there, but ultimately doesn't. Puts the ball away to put the Ninetales squad up 1-0.
Ninetales. Great Pokemon. Lots of fire.
Lots of tails.
Lots of tails. 9 of them. To be specific.
Also, shout out to Tails, our producer for the evening,
Oh, good old Tails.
a.k.a. Kyle Taylor, the production wizard over here at Stay Plugged In.
He's in the chat. He's moderating you right now. Let Kyle know that you love him. He puts in a lot of hard work to make sure that we can do all their crazy Pokemon shenanigans.
Absolutely. He did not like the Pokemon idea, but here we are executing regardless. Good at what he does, but sometimes we like to make him mad.
Yeah. All
Dozen
right.
looks to push this shot on here as 3 people miss the ball, as Magnolia is able to follow that up. Getting the shot over there, but not quite to the edge as Zen puts that up. War is looking to put that on just to the left of the net as Feline looks to push this off the wall back over to the midfield.
Ooh, an opportunity from Zen. He had to make a quick car change in between the map. So he switched it
War
up.
out of boost trying to contest here. As we see, again, that Pidgeot side is stacking that left-hand side of the field where the ball is. That is ultimately going to lead. Again, nobody is there for the pass there in the middle because of that rotation. But nonetheless, this Ninetales side is looking to make a shot on, not quite on target from the pass there from Dozen.
Zen says, I got the ball, gets a good touch, jumps up in the air, uses all his boost, and now he's going to be rotating out. Ooh, no. Bad miss. Doesn't get an opportunity, but Magnolia is there. And Zen. Ooh, Magnolia!
Excellent
Oh,
save there from Magnolia. Is able
defense.
to just barely get the backflip on to get the touch to push that back out to the corner. Excellent defensive pressure there. An amazing save. But ultimately, that offensive pressure is still on there for the Ninetales side. This Pidgeot side is going to need to make some pressure here in the next 30 seconds to keep themselves alive and away from that 2-0 sweep.
So true. 30 seconds left on the clock. Will Ninetales put this one away? I don't know. Looks like it. Oh, what a touch. A good clear. But Zen answers. It's going to be on. Doesn't. Grabs that control. Magnolia's going to have a shot. And whew,
Absolute banger there from Magnolia. Dozen looks to try and save that, tries to catch it, not able to get the touch off, pushes this shot, tries to push the shot away, but Magnolia ultimately sinks that into the top right 90 and evens this up with 12 seconds remaining.
yes, 12 seconds on the clock. We may have our first overtime.
This is true. We are coming down into the final 5 seconds. This Pidgeot side keeping the ball alive as Feline continues to push this ball up, trying to make a play here, but that looks like it's probably going to touch the net as Zen pushes that over. Going to try and follow that up as Magnolia, but we are into our first overtime of the evening.
Yes, we are. Here it is. Dozen. Pass to center. A little high. Grabs the boost. Feline tries to get a good 50. Gonna back up, try and get some boost.
Nice catch there from Zen to save that, and the flick that follows, but ultimately Feline is there to push this back in as War pushes that back over to the side. Offensive pressure still on, but Zen doing a great job of clearing that ball out and keeping the Pidgeot side alive and away from danger.
Yes, 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 yes. 30 seconds in. Looks to be pretty back and forth, just as the whole series has been so far.
Pidgeot does need to take this game to stay alive in this series. We are seeing some immense pressure from both sides here. This is a super evenly matched game, but ultimately only one team can move on from this game as Zen is flying up in the air to save that ball away from Dozen, who tries to follow up with a double touch, not quite able to get there. War is looking to push this into the corner. Ultimately, Feline is there to save that away.
Feline trying to make the plays. Zen pushes it out. Ooh, tries to get another touch, but ball just drops on him a little bit. Grabs some boost. It's going to come up, rotate out. There he is, coming back. Ooh, gets a little bumpy bumps. Oh, man, gets turned around with Dozen. Oh, no. There's the shot on.
This is Rocket League.
This is Ninetales. taking game number 2.
Absolutely. Baguette sinking that second goal there for the Ninetales squad, ultimately taking the sweep away from the Pidgeot side, and that is going to put them up 2-0, and that is a victory. And now a 1-0 on the season for Ninetales.
Ninetales. Who would have thought? You did.
I did. I called it.
Yeah, you did. We're 1-1 right now.
It's true. No.
Who
Oh,
was
yeah.
it?
We went for the same team.
Yeah,
in
we went for the
first
same
game.
thing.
That's
When
right.
we separate, we got it. So right now on the series, the Box Turtle and I, 1-1. Looks like a lot of shots. A lot of shots out of the Ninetales squad. Not as many saves of the Pidgeot squad for this time. So
Yeah, one thing that we're seeing from that Ninetales squad is that nobody really stands out as an individual talent on this. Nobody's really carrying. Everybody on that team is taking shots, making saves, having assists, or scoring. And that's really what you want to see from a cohesiveness from a team.
Yep.
You want to see that collective effort that everybody's actually getting a score, getting some shots on, touching the ball, making plays. And we see that that does lead to a victory, especially in an evenly tight match.
it does for sure. We are going to take a quick break with you. We come back to the next match, which is Gengar and Charizard.
Oh,
It's going to be what a great Pokemon too.
Yeah.
Charizard
Oh, yeah.
and Gengar for the last match of the night. That's going to be the final match of the night coming up right after this. We're going to an intermission. We'll see you in a second. Welcome back to Stay Plugged In. I'm CLT Pathfinder. With me,
Here I am, the box turtle.
the Box Turtle.
The box turtle.
Can you hear that?
I can.
Can you hear that?
I did hear that. It was rather loud. But we are back here bringing you our last match of the night and reviewing those rosters. But before we do that, let's highlight our MVP of the last match. That is going to be Dozen, a.k.a. Connor.
Connor, you're my boy.
Absolutely. I think we could have picked anybody from that Ninetales side. As we mentioned before, really all across the board for that game, all three of those players provided the same amount of value to each of the games. Dozen had a little bit of an edge there on saves and goals, but nonetheless, Dozen does take it. A big shout out to the entire Ninetales squad on their performance, and a GG's to Pidgeot as well. But let's get into our next match of the night.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Gengar.
Gengar versus Charizard. Now, these are easily two of the best Pokemon of all time, without
Easily.
a doubt.
Oh, yeah.
Without a
By
doubt.
far.
I know who I have as my favorite Pokemon. But before we get into who we think is going to take this match, let's review the rosters, starting with Gengar.
Pokemon! It's Gengar!
That's right, it is Gengar, and that takes us to this roster, which is Doodle, Cryptic, and Trickshot. Now, we have seen a couple of these teams before, or a couple of these players before. Trickshot did play in one of our previous tournaments as well.
Charlotte.
Absolutely. Relatively close to Charlotte, I believe, in the Davidson area. But nonetheless,
He's
here we
Charlotte
are.
fam. He's still Charlotte fam.
Yeah, it's close.
It's Charlotte fam. Come on, Trickshot. I see you. I got you, my boy. You're
It's like
Charlotte
a different
fam, okay?
county.
Well, I mean, you don't have to talk to him like he's from not here. He's from here. He's in
Okay.
our backyard.
He's from here.
He's from here. Okay. Gengar, this is my squad. The Cryptic, the Doodle, the Trickshot, all seniors, all ready to go. Some Rocket League phenons over here on the Gengar squad.
Absolutely. And next up is the Charizard side.
Pokemon! It's Charizard!
Awesome, and that takes us to our Charizard roster made up of Boonut, Dolphin Man, and Nyx, a couple seniors and a junior squeaking into this squad here to face off against the three senior team of Gengar.
That's right. So this is another squad, two seniors, a junior on the squad, and we actually have a little bit of intel on these two teams. They've already played together tonight. And Gengar lost their match.
No, Gengar won their match.
Gengar won their match, right? And Charizard lost their match.
I believe they lost.
Yes, so Charizard is 0-1 now,
Yep.
going into their second game, and then Gengar's 1-0. So Gengar could end at 1-1, or they could end at 2-0. We'll see.
It's true. Strong start of the night for both teams.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, who are you taking in this one?
Oh, I got to go with Gengar.
Yeah? That 1-0 is swaying you, huh?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, fair enough. I
What
think
about you?
I think I'm going to go with Charizard.
Charizard,
Yeah.
huh?
It's a a little bit younger on
Yeah,
the younger side
totally
compared
agree.
to Gengar, but all GCs, everybody in this game, I believe, is a GC
Oh, yeah.
right now. Trickshot, I believe, in our last tournament was a C3. So Trickshot, if you hit GC recently, congratulations.
Heck yeah, another shout out to Trickshot. Also, quick shout out to Magnolia. We see your messages, bro. Thanks for sending the love to the Spade plugged in. Awesomeness. But here we go. Match number 4. Last one of the night. We have Gengar versus Charizard. Let's get into it. Oh.
Right off the bat, this Gengar side looking to put some pressure on. His Trickshot follows that up just off the top of the crossbar. Cryptic going to follow this up, try to get the double touch. Puts this up for his team, but just off the edge of the net. And we're seeing some super early pressure here from this Gengar side. Trickshot just barely inching that ball over the top of the crossbar.
Cryptic. Oh, what a touch. Love it. I love the aggression out of this Gengar squad. They are putting the foot down, putting the pedal to the metal, going as fast as they can, playing some offense.
Absolutely, and they're coming off a win, so they are here and excited about it. They are ready to
Charizard
compete.
gonna have a shot. Oh, dang.
Excellent save there from Doodle, off the shot from Dolphin Man. And right off the bat, we're seeing both teams looking to come out with a vengeance. You'd think both of them lost the way they're playing.
Oh.
They're playing for revenge.
I hate that. I wonder who beat the Charizard squad, man.
I know.
I'm a little scared.
It's definitely scary. Thankfully, we don't have to play them.
Oh my goodness, that would be awful.
I did put in our Discord that the winning team does have to nominate one player to 1v1 you at the end of the game or at the end of the season. So
man, I don't know if they could take that kind of loss in their life.
That Plat 3 energy is too much for him.
Oh man, don't lie to him, dude. I'm like a 2700.
27.
Yeah, I'm the only one. Alone. The reason I stay on top is because I don't play many matches. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what it is.
You can't let them have that. But here we go. Pretty even match. Everybody's feeling each other out. Just like we see in all the other matches. Not a lot of goals scored very quickly, but everyone's trying to see how the other team is playing against them and then counter that.
Absolutely. Both of these teams, it seems to be that we're seeing a lot quicker pace of play than we've seen from the last couple of games. As Dolphin Man comes in to push this ball in off the pass from Vortex to settle this up at 1-0 with 2 minutes into this first game. Vortex with an excellent play off the wall. Trickshot tried to get there for the save, couldn't quite push that away, and Dolphin Man starts us off here in map number 3.
Love a good Dolphin Man inside the Rocket League game. I think that says a lot about how he flies through the air like a dolphin. It's too much. It was too much. Oh, I lost the box turtle. He's gone. He left. He said he quit. It's all me, guys. I'm alone. I don't know what's happening, but I'm watching some Rocket League, and I'm watching the Dolphin Man fly through the air.
That's incredible.
Oh, he came back. That's wonderful. Welcome
again,
back,
just
box turtle.
just to reiterate, we are hiring for a second caster alongside myself, somebody that understands that dolphins do indeed not fly. But here we are. This Charizard side is still continuing to put a lot of pressure onto this middle side of the field as Boonut goes up for that pass, but Cryptic there is able to push that out as Doodle's looking to catch this and apply some pressure back to the other side of the field. Dolphin Man getting the demo, taking a player away. Cryptic is there, but again, we're seeing a lot of demos, some fast play. Vortex is able to get this off. Oh,
The Dolphin Man. The Dolphin Man comes swimming in right behind Vortex with the double touch. Ooh, so close.
Vortex almost with the incredible double touch off the crossbar there, but Dolphin Man able to pick up the slack as Charizard moves to 2-0 on the game 1.
Looks like Charizard's coming back with a vengeance. What's stronger, the Shadow Pokemon or the Fire Pokemon? Who has the advantage over that?
Depends.
Is it very dependent on the
Generation
matchup?
1, the Shadow Pokemon were very overpowered. Shadow and Psychic Pokemon were
I
insane.
feel like Fire was the counter to Shadow, though. Like one of the counters, right?
Nope.
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 Okay, well then, never mind. Fire doesn't matter. I'm an idiot.
Fire is super effective to grass and bug.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I need a Poke guide. Poke guide? The producer, I think I've just been fired.
It's a long time coming. But anyway, we are seeing Gengar is going to get a run here. As
Cryptic
is able to finish this off and bring it back to a 1-goal deficit with just under a minute and a half remaining for this Gengar side, looking to make a run for themselves.
Cryptic's tag is War, and I like it. Comes at him strong. Comes at him strong with the Gengar side. Let's go, Gengar squad. Come on. I need you to come back from this.
Sir, we are casters. We are not allowed to show bias.
Okay. Go Charizard.
Go Gengar. As the shot comes in from Vortex to make it a 3-1
What a
off the
shot.
pass from Dolphin Man. Looks like a little bit of a wall touch there. Maybe a wall pinch.
Boom.
Yes, slight pinch there. Looks like Trick Shot not able to get there in time to save it. But nonetheless, that is Charizard going up 3-1 in this game number 1.
That is right. Here's the doodle. Whoa, my doodle. Get it? Like a dude? Never mind. You don't even understand box.
Oh, no, I'm with you. I'm with you.
I don't.
If I laugh, I entertain you. Or if I laugh, I encourage you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I totally get it. Gotta play it smart.
Dolphin Man look to keep this ball in, does get it off as Trick Shot is able to push this ball out, collect some boost for himself, try to make a play on the other end, looking for that 50, but Doodle is there to make the cleanup, looking for that double touch back over, the pass over to Cryptic, and Dolphin Man there again, as the Pathfinder would say, swimming in for a save.
Yeah, I would say that. Here comes, Boonut with the nice double touch through the air. Doesn't have any boost, but he's still making it work. Cryptic, gotta get a touch here. The Doodle pops it up. Vortex is gonna have a save, but Trick Shot, an opportunity, steals the boost, gets a good 50. Ooh, and Cryptic comes in, breaks that pass up. Let's see, there he is. I was waiting for the Doodle Noodle to show up.
We are closing in on the last 10 seconds here. It does look like Charizard is going to take game 1 of this series as Doodle comes in to push this shot on, but that is going to tick down to 0 once this ball touches the ground, and Charizard will take game 1 in this best of 3, not convincingly, but a 2-goal lead nonetheless.
Wow, Vortex 8 centered balls. That's awesome. And Dolphin Man with the shots. 8 shots total. Lots of saves. Man, pretty even across the board once again.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, Dolphin Man was all over the place, but Vortex, it was also pretty heavily involved. Boonut himself was also pretty heavily involved. But again, that Gengar side did make a name for themselves. It was a tightly contested match. It was by no means a runaway for either side. I think a few quick minor adjustments from that Gengar side, and we see a completely different game.
Totally with you, Box Turtle, Mr. Coachman. As some would say, get boost, use boost, grab more boost.
That is, I have been known to say that in the past. I think that works at a basic level. At GC, I don't think it works quite that same way. Boost is a little bit less important. But nonetheless, I think this Gengar side does need to rotate together just a little bit. They do seem to crowd individual sides of the ball. Maybe put one person on the wall, one person on the ground, one person in the corner. Get yourselves a little bit more of a rotation, and we could see a very different game here. But nonetheless, they are all better than me, and we are starting into game number 2 of this best of 3 series.
Oh, love the Cryptic with the clutch shots. Had a good game 1. Let's see how he does game 2. Trick Shot. No boost, rotating. Vortex grabs the boost.
Vortex just a little bit too patient on that as Trick Shot looks to push that away, but Vortex just barely misses the go-ahead goal for Charizard's side. Here's that shot comes in, but Doodle is there to push that away. Vortex again is there. A little bit. Vortex is everywhere in this game too right now for this opening 45 seconds.
Oh, Boonut's going to have a shot. Cryptic is
Looking
there.
for that wall touch. Cryptic is able to push that away. A Trick Shot able to get that second save off the shot from Dolphin Man. We're seeing some excellent defensive rotations here from this Gengar side. Much better than we saw in this first game as we see them start to spread the field, give themselves a little bit more space to try and make some plays as they rotate this pressure back over to the Charizard side of the ball. But Boonut able to get a couple 50s to put themselves back onto the Gengar side.
It makes me think of donuts, I'm going to be honest.
I think that's the point.
I like donuts. That's all I have. That's my Rocket
Excellent
League
input
guys.
from the Pathfinder there, but Vortex is able to sink that to make it a 1-0 lead for Charizard here, a minute and a half into this game. And again, you know, I don't think it comes down to individual amazing plays from either team. I think this is going to come down to mistakes on one end or the other. But here we are leading into this game number 2 as Charizard takes a 1-goal lead.
Ooh, there we go. Trick Shot. Oh, here it comes. Trick shots. Once again, an opportunity. Cryptic lands on his head. He said, hey, let's hang out together, brother. Playing defense. Cryptic goes over 2, but Dolphin Boy comes in. Let's go pass up to Cryptic. Doodle's kind of alone in this moment. He's got to make a play right here. Does. Oh, Cryptic might have an opportunity. Gets bumped a little bit. Oh, there's a shot on
Cryptic
the goal.
is there to put that shot on, but Boone not
close.
able to save it. Trick shot looking to get a shot of his own just off the crossbar. Nobody there for the Gengar side to follow up that shot as Vortex launches that down to the Charizard side.
Yes, he does. Cryptic is here. Gets a good touch. Oh, Doodle with the shot on the goal. Oh, a little wide. Vortex is there for the save.
We're seeing that both of these teams are starting to slow down their speed a little bit. They're starting to be a little bit more intentional with their plays and their defensive press or offensive pressures rather. And I think ultimately that's going to lead to a little bit of a dynamic shift here. I think speed is the name of the game at the highest level, and as that patience increases, that speed slows down. As Vortex is able to just get this off the crossbar, but Cryptic is able to push that away and is pushing down the field. Trick shot looking for that pass. Launches that into the corner. Can somebody there follow it up? But no, Charizard pushes that away.
Well, Cryptic's going to have to make a defensive play. Does. Doodle is up. Got enough boost, but gets beat by a little bit. Cryptic is here in the corner, trying to play some 50-50s. Gonna have to go back, gets a boost. Doodle is there. Once again, Doodle, no boost. Coming back around. See, all the boosts being used. Like, oh, it's quick. Goes fast. What a defensive
The biggest
play.
difference between a champion and a grand champion is the speed. But as we see here, this Charizard side is continuing to apply a bunch of pressure as the shot comes in from Dolphin Man just over the top of Trick Shot to make it a 2-0 lead for Charizard with just over a minute 15 remaining.
Yeah, great shot by the swimming dolphin.
Oh, man.
What's-
Oh, Pathfinder.
What is the dolphin thing from SpongeBob? What's his name? Barnacle? Never mind. It doesn't matter.
The dolphin from SpongeBob.
Isn't there like 2 superheroes and one of them's like a dolphin boy or
Oh,
something?
Barnacle Boy and Mermaid Man.
Mermaid Man, that's what it is. That's not
So-
a dolphin
so
at
not a
all.
dolphin
So
at all?
not even close. Yeah,
Not even-
terrible reference. Sorry.
One exists, one doesn't.
That's actually a really good point.
This Gengar side has a minute to make a couple goals for themselves here to try to keep themselves in it as Cryptic looks to dribble that up, but Boonut is there for the save. Doodle is going to try and push this into the middle.
Ooh.
Can a teammate follow that up? They double commit that pass in the corner, ultimately leading to a nice, easy, smooth flick from Vortex, followed by the half flip. Nice little flex, and that is a 3-0 lead for Charizard.
Yes, it is. 42 seconds left on the clock. They took game 1. It looks like they might take game 2.
It's looking pretty convincing right now. There
It
is
is.
still 40 seconds remaining. There's still plenty of time for Gengar to organize themselves and get themselves together. But ultimately, we are ready to go here on the last 30 seconds, looking for Gengar to make a move and keep themselves alive.
Yes. Cryptic is here. Tries to make a touch. I feel like the Gengar side of things, this probably is a free agent team, I'm guessing. They didn't join together.
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, so I feel like in a couple weeks, their mechanics look good. They just, I feel like they just need a little bit of teamwork. Like, it's just a little slow on, hey, when are we pushing, when are we playing defense kind of thing on their side. So it might be just a communication thing, but I expect them to be able to bounce back after this week, after they get to know each other a little bit better, for sure.
Absolutely, and this is day 1 of matches. There's still plenty of time left for both of these teams to make the proper adjustments, learn how to play with each other. But ultimately, this is going to be Charizard taking this game number 2, going in for the sweep, and they move on to 1-1 on the season following our night 1 of matches.
That is correct. We'll look at the scoreboard coming up in a second here. We will see the Charizard boys come out on top. The Dolphin Man doing work. The Bonut.
Yeah, I think for the first time, I don't actually think we have a certified MVP of this one. Last time, the scoreboard was completely flipped. It was Dolphin Man on top leading the team, with Boonut on bottom and Vortex being that second man for the squad. And here we see Vortex is taking charge, putting 6 shots on, getting some saves, scoring some goals, doing everything for his team. But not far behind him is Boonut and Dolphin Man, both for themselves. Boonut himself getting 3 saves and 2 shots. I mean, all 3 of these players doing a lot for their team. And sorry if it's a letdown. I don't think we're going to pick an MVP for this one.
I really don't. No, I think it's tough. They're pretty close together. You know, it's tough to call. But stay tuned for the stream. Not the stream, but on our social medias. Give us a follow and stay plugged in. If you love this program and you want to get involved and you're a college watching or you're a student watching, there's still a chance for you to be able to sign up as a student, whether you want to play as a free agent, sub for a team for this season, and then get involved more for next season. Or if you're a college and you're like, wow, I really want the opportunity to speak to some of these kids. How can I do that? Reach out to us through our social media platforms. You can find me, CLT_Pathfinder on Twitter, or CLT Huge Box Turtle on Twitter.
Just CLT Box Turtle.
Sorry, CLT.
Yep.
It's the huge
It's
box.
the huge.
It's a huge box.
That's for
turtle.
in-game. Just Box Turtle.
Just the Box Turtle. Got it.
At CLT Box Turtle on Twitter.
At CLT Box Turtle on Twitter. But we are going to jump into a replay, I think, really quickly for some of the matches tonight. So let's roll that.
But again, we're seeing a lot of demos. These guys play. Vortex is able to get this off.
Where is Zero?
The Dolphin Man. The Dolphin Man. He fought. He saw. He went. He did a thing. That's the Charlotte Phoenix.
That is not the right schedule. Not the right teams.
The replays are incoming for sure. But check out our social medias. Make sure to stay up to date. Like I said, if you want to get involved, you're more than welcome. We will be back on Monday for some more Rocket League action, for some more matches of the season. But thank you so much for joining us tonight.
See you guys.